Hello and welcome to Tarot with Tanya. This is 7 cards for 7 days, and we are looking at the week of Monday, November 25th through Sunday, December 1st. I can hardly believe we're to that last month. So thank you so much for being here. Welcome back if you've been here before, and welcome if you are new. So I will talk a little bit about the astrology this week. We don't have a lot of aspects. And then we'll look at the cards, and we'll end with the Tree Keeper's Oracle card. So I hope the lighting's okay. It's a dim day here in Iowa, in the upper Midwest. But anyway, we start our week with the moon in Libra, and we end with the moon in Sagittarius. And I do want to say before I forget, please take what resonates for you. Leave the rest behind. Keep developing your intuition. Some of it will fit, some of it may not. So that's for you to discern. Anyway, with these two moons going from Libra to Sagittarius, and then we'll have a new moon in Sagittarius at the end of the week. We're in the masculine signs. I think of Libra probably as the most feminine of the masculine signs. But it is an air sign. It's very concerned with relationships, harmony, balance, beauty, aesthetics, fairness, things like that. And we will go through the moon in Scorpio as well. That's where we get that intensity, that depth. So we get a feminine moon in there, and that'll be about midweek. And then by Saturday, the moon has moved into Sagittarius. And that's where we get a boost in the areas of philosophy, higher education, travel and adventure, something to do with the law, perhaps, higher learning. All right, so on Monday, ouch, Mercury retrogrades. That never seems to hit me too hard, but it can, and it can be delays in travel, and this goes into January. It lasts about 3 weeks, but then they talk about the shadow period, astrologers do. And in that shadow period, that means it's catching back up to where it started to go retrograde. So double check your travel plans, be patient. There could be unexpected things happening, glitches in communication. Those are the sorts of things that Mercury rules. So when it goes back, it can cause that kind of issue. It can also give us, excuse me, an opportunity, let me grab my water here, to reflect what did happen in the last few weeks, perhaps even months. Look at that time that Mercury does go retrograde. What were the communication issues? What were things that deserve a little reflection? Then on Wednesday, the 27th, we have the Sun trining Mars, which is wonderful. That is a very dynamic energy, a daring energy. It can be creating from the sheer joy of the force of the individual effort. It's quite spontaneous energy. You have Mars, which brings that energy, and then the Sun will amplify it. Just a really good feeling that day. So if you need to do something really creative, fun, adventurous, Wednesday's a good day for that. Then on Saturday, that's when we have that new moon in Sagittarius. So I've already talked about some of those qualities of Sagittarius. So it could be a great time to plan a big trip for the coming year or the end of this one, to look into legal matters, to think about going back to school, to check in with your own philosophies in life. It's all good for that. And anytime we have that new moon, it is trying to propel us forward and again into really some higher-minded idealism. So I think we could use that right now. We're pretty cynical here in the States. All right, so what do the cards say? Well, I'm using the Aquarian Tarot, which I love. It just felt like that was appropriate since we had that Pluto move into Aquarius last week. And for Monday, our first day, we get the King of Swords. So this king is very intellectual, very good with words, with ideas, thinking in general, moving energy forward in that way. It's a double masculine because, of course, it's a king, and then an air sign is a masculine energy. So, the downside can be a little too sharp with the words, but generally very discerning, very clear, precise thinking. And Aquarius is an air sign, so as we are moving into the age of Aquarius, that king can provide very good leadership when used, for the highest good. We have a very different energy for our Tuesday, and we have 3 majors this week, so that's good. I like to look at that number, and that's creativity, flow, harmony, abundance, so that's really good. And the moon, a very deep feminine card. Mystery, can be very changeable. Obviously, we're not at the full moon. We're coming up to the dark of the moon, which then leads us into the new moon. So, what needs illuminating? What is a big mystery? Where are you using your deep feminine energies on Tuesday? By Wednesday, we're back to a masculine energy, and we have 2 6s this week. We don't have a lot of repetition, but we do have 2 of these, the number 6s. And this one is of the rods, and the rods in this deck stand for the fire energy, what you typically may know as wands. And this one's always about the victory. Riding the horse, you only see the one rider, sometimes you'll see more. But carrying that wreath on this particular wand, and that's the part that's about the victory. So it could be a very energetic victory because that's where wands affect us in our energy systems. But 6s tend to be very positive numbers, very happy numbers, connected to the lovers. Our one somewhat tough card for the week will be on Thursday, and that is the 7 of Swords. Some people describe this as someone coming off of the battlefield. It has a bit of a defeated look. For me, it's an internal state. It connects to the Chariot because that's the number 7 in the majors. And it can be a preparation to do something else. And in this case, maybe to clear things away, to sort. There's a sorting aspect to the 7s for me, including with the Chariot. And here it's like, maybe was this worth it? 2 swords in the ground, 5 I'm carrying away. Is it a kind of a sacrifice? I tend to lean toward the Thoth interpretation or energy of the card. And that is more like, what do I really want? What is my central choice? Maybe there are 2 choices here that seem worth, keeping and grounding, and then getting rid of the other 5, carting them away or something like that. So having some faith in what it is that you really want and your ability to get it. There may be some pondering over that when we get to Friday, or just a stop and taking a moment to pause because we have the Hanged One. And this is a 3 energy because it's a 12. So that's going to connect it also to the Empress in the majors. And, this is based on the myth of Odin going to the world tree, the Yggdrasil, not knowing something, sacrificing something, hanging upside down to change the perspective. I mean, that's literally a thing in yoga, right? You flip upside down, the blood rushes to the head, and there can be a subsequent change in perception. So, what needs to maybe be sacrificed? And, we're obviously not talking literally, but perhaps a tendency, a doubt, something like that. What can we let go of? And the last thing I'll say about this one is it can be changing our orientation from the earthly to the spiritual, from the material to the spiritual. I tend to like that most for that one. But, taking a moment, hanging out, figuring out what's going on without rushing into the next thing. Saturday, a really lovely energy with the Lovers. So that's that second six for the week. So that victory might be a relationship understanding, a new insight into something like that, using your instincts to good effect. So here we get this communication, this companionship. It can be a challenge in terms of our communication. The Lovers are connecting obviously on a physical level, and hopefully an emotional, spiritual level as well, and obviously an energetic one too. So, good day to come together on something, to harmonize something, and just to enjoy that energy of the six, that bountiful six. And on Sunday, our last card for our 7 days, the Two of Swords. Almost always a blindfold involved in this one, which connects it to justice and to making impartial decisions. It can be in the more negative sense, the feeling of not knowing the answer to something. So we close the eyes, we go inward, we find that balance, symbolized by the two swords crossing there, getting things even and detached. The two will relate to the High Priestess in the majors. This would be a minor aspect of that. And, the High Priestess, often she'll be veiled, will be going inward to get the answer, and this is an aspect of it. And it's going to be on the mental plane because it's a sword. So maybe coming to what a friend of mine calls the why, a decision about something, and taking again some time to let that decision surface. All right, so that's our week with the cards. And we'll finish up with our Tree Keeper's Oracle card. And what came up for us this time was Whimsy. And I don't know why, but this strikes me as a good card for Thanksgiving if you celebrate that. Keeper of Whimsy. And it's another six. So the sixes are the dominant number by far this spread this week. So again, that's happy. Commune. It's a great week for that. Whimsy is a muscle. We in the modern world have forgotten this, but the tree keepers remember. When employed by your imagination, whimsy yields strength. I love that. Whimsy yields strength. It's harder for the world of stress to reach you with its constant barrage of should and shouldn't when you're indulging whimsy. That rings true for me. Share a cup of tea with your favorite tree. Have a conversation with the moon. Ride a wave of imagination in your own backyard. You'll find yourself more resilient to the demands of the day and more open to its possibilities. So I wish you all a beautiful week, beloveds. No holiday stress. Just let it be. Things will be fine. Pray for the most benevolent outcome, what Tom Timur has shortened to MBOs, most benevolent outcomes. And enjoy yourself, love yourself. And thank you again so much for being here. If I can help you via a personal reading, please reach out. There'll be information below, excuse me, in the description box and at the end of the video. And please like, share, subscribe if you haven't already. Best week possible, beloveds. See ya in 7 days.